Hey everyone, Daniel here. Just wanted to take a second to talk to you about a couple of new things we have coming up in 2020. Starting in January, we're going to have 2 new shows coming to the Escaping Network. Now, I can hear you out there asking your stupid fucking little questions. What's the Escaping Network? Well, listen here, babies. Mama Bird's going to come and feed you that information. I'm Mama Bird in this situation, and you're my babies. It's a part of the news. We are launching our network, and with that, we have 2 new shows that I'm really excited to tell you about. The first one is a spin-off show by Kelsey and Roscoe called Yo, Where the Caption's At. It is going to be a wild ride that you are really not going to want to miss. I'm very excited to show you guys that and to see where it goes from there. Secondly, at the end of January, we're going to take to the stars with a new Space Pirate Radio show called Space Pirate Radio. It follows the crew members of the Dawn as they lie, cheat, and steal their way across the universe. It's going to be our first full cast show, and who knows how that's going to be. We're excited. The whole decade just started. We can mess up now and learn later. It's great. Lastly, we're going to change the layout of the Escaping Podcast to be a little more serial-based. And I don't mean Captain Crunch. I mean series-based and less one-shot episodic. That way we can tell you a little bit more long-format stories and not just, quick tales that we find funny. But with that, we will be taking a break in January this month to restructure and plan for what's coming up. Now, that doesn't mean that we're going to have no episodes. In fact, what we're going to do is release our Patreon episodes, our Mandalorian / Verdito series, and that's going to be coming to you every Wednesday like we normally release. But just know, come February, it's going to be a different show with the same nerds that you've come to know and love. I think that's actually everything. So let's get you back to the show, and I love you. Yeah, I love you. Okay, bye.
And you're against the wall, and I roll up to your table like this, and I got a blaster pointed at you. Like that. Exactly what kind of opportunity do you have to shoot first?
Before or after he says McClunky?
McClunky? I just recently watched A New Hope.
The malarkey of the McClunky.
I just watched A New Hope recently.
Yeah, I don't understand the controversy between that.
Well, he's an alien. McClunky might mean like...
No, not that, but like the whole who shot first.
What?
What's the big deal?
Han shot first.
But I'm saying, what's the big deal?
Yeah, I don't understand why it's a big deal. Because he's trying to kill him. Well, he's going to collect on him anyway. He's going to take a shit ton of money.
He's a rogue.
They're in a
shit like
seedy bar where one cat's arm just got chopped off by a lightsaber anyway.
I don't like it.
It's not like it's a decent establishment.
Exactly.
And not like you go there for the health spa.
You don't remember that episode of Simpsons at Moe's where someone got their arm cut off and then another guy got shot?
I'm certain it happened.
Exactly.
No, I don't remember that.
And if it's a stand your ground sector, if you pull on me, I can pull on you.
They got castle laws on Tatooine.
I ain't gonna say shit. I see your blaster, you don't see mine.
Greedo was wearing a hoodie.
For real. You should have shot me first. Now you learned your lesson in the afterlife. Talk to me, space ghosts.
But I recently watched New Hope, and obviously I'm looking at that scene because it's so damn famous, right?
Yeah.
And I'm looking at Greedo's blaster, and when it goes off, it's like, so here in an audio format, this is really going to work well, right? But the blaster's pointed one way, and it goes off at like a 30-degree angle to miss Han. I'm like, really?
Wait, but didn't they like re-edit that scene?
They've edited it too many times.
Yeah, it's
that was nasty too. That's stupid. Back in the days before like all this PC culture and all this shit. He was like, we're gonna go back, like, don't retrofit history.
He could totally whack Greedo without a second thought. There's no bad day to kill that kid.
Exactly.
Have you seen The Godfather? Anyone named Greedo or Fredo or anything close to that is gonna get killed.
Or resembles an Italian.
I don't know. All right, folks, we're jumping in. Welcome to another episode of Escaping Podcast.
A bonus episode!
A bonus episode, the best podcast in Colorado Springs when it comes to all things geek, nerdy, and everything in between.
And by everything in between, he means those space between parsecs. How many parsecs to get to the center of a Tootsie Pop? We find out today.
I think Lil' Kim actually told us how many licks it takes.
I said parsecs.
I know, my fault.
This
is why it's a bonus.
How dare you bring my
Lil' Kim and
ex-girlfriend into this?
Wait, Lil' Kim?
We don't talk about that.
Ooh,
she won't shut up about it.
That's why I like to call it Quiet Storm.
Today we are talking about The Mandalorian. we here at Escaping Podcast,
Get it right.
think that it's fucking amazing.
It's incredible.
It's
I can't believe it's only $7 a month.
That's what I'm saying, man.
Is it though? When it's free because you got a homies hookup because they got the Verizon plan.
Verizon plan or no, I'm willing to pay the $7. It's much less of a price to pay as opposed to, say, trying to record your podcast while someone is using an air compressor in the room above you.
Oh, come on.
Really?
That's creative writing. That shit never happens.
And at the end of the day, too, I was going to pay $7 for this app alone, not because of Star Wars, because all the juicy, marvelous content that's coming next year.
Holy crap.
And we ain't even got that shit yet.
Literally, we downloaded the app in my house, and we looked for an hour just to look at all
Exactly.
the kind of crap that was on there.
That's why I spend most of my time on that app just scrolling down everything that they have instead of actually watching shit.
So I think we had to pause here for a moment and say that Disney Plus has not contacted us. We've not contacted them. We're not supported by. We don't acknowledge their existence of, and vice versa, with Disney Plus in any way, shape, or form, or Verizon for that matter. But thank you all.
In a similar way, we're recording from Escape Velocity Comics downtown, and our thoughts, our opinions, our blasters, our Jawas in no way represent, reflect, Houdini. Reflect or represent anything having to do with Escape Velocity Comics. They let us come in here and do our thing like the scruffy-looking nerf herders that we are.
And just a little thing, too. We are not owned by the House of Mouse yet.
We aren't owned by anyone, least of not Kelsey.
And nobody wants us.
That's true. Story of my life.
My girlfriend even says, you're your own person. I don't take responsibility for any of that.
I don't blame her.
So, real quick, before we get into The Mandalorian, what was the first thing you guys watched on Disney+.
Let me The Mandalorian.
Wow.
Because it's the bomb.
Someone doesn't know how to, pace it out.
Nah, but he's just being honest.
Yeah,
Like,
I was waiting for that shit to come out.
Mine is very similar. I watched Sister Act 2 Back in the Habit.
That's right.
With Lauryn Hill?
Just about the same plot, too, I think. as a matter of fact.
Well, no, because Sister Act did it first. Whoopi Goldberg plays a nun on the run
sister.
who has bounties on her head, and she collects bounties. At one point, she goes and picks up a baby Jennifer Love Hewitt and has to carry her across the galaxy while teaching kids how to sing.
So that's not the Blues Brothers?
Are you thinking of
but it does have Carrie Fisher in it.
Carrie Fisher, love her, rest in peace.
Yeah, but that brings it right back.
It brings it right back to where we
Star Wars
are.
universe.
So, The Mandalorian.
Oh, I was going to talk about the first thing I watched.
No one cares.
All right, but
What's
you
the
asked.
first thing you watched?
Well, actually, it was The Mandalorian, too. But,
Bring it.
but it was only because I wasn't trying to, have my roommate sit in his room and be like, the fuck is going on out there? Because I watched both the first two High School Musicals because I missed that wave as a kid.
What?
Yes, I love musicals. That's my jam. But for some reason,
Man.
it's my jam. Just like Camp Rock 1 and 2 is my jam too. I just was like, nah, I'm cool. But now that I have it, I'm about to watch all my shit so I can watch the series.
What about Cop Rock?
Cop Rock? I don't.
Cop Rock?
I know something Kelsey doesn't know.
Oh, there's a lot. There's a lot of shit I don't know, especially about the police because I would try to know them.
So take NYPD Blue
Nope.
and put it to a High School Musical soundtrack.
It's a copra?
So they beating black people to the beat.
That's right. That's right.
Well, like that scene in Shaun of the Dead where they're hitting the zombie to "Don't Stop Me Now."
You have not lived until you've seen a cop drama set to music.
Well, that's fair of you to say since we're people of color and you don't think we're actually alive.
Word.
But
I'm still
Spooky
not sure about
Phantoms.
that.
Menaces.
yeah,
Oh!
there's a lot of
Wait,
good
there's
stuff
a joke
on there,
there.
and I'm really really excited to go through and watch some more. But Mandalorian, guys,
Baby.
Yoda. Baby
Oh, we're
Yoda.
just gonna jump right into it. Man.
So the Mandalorian comes from I believe they're a race of people, a mythical race of people, or
They're
a
like
guild.
they're like the Spartans meets the Saiyans in
yeah.
space.
Yeah, so you said it the second. They're a culture, so they're not a race of people.
That's right.
Oh,
that's
I thought they were a race and they all came from
originally Boba Fett. If you go with the canon, he was a Mandalorian, or sorry, Jango Fett was a Mandalorian. He wasn't the only Mandalorian, but he was the one who put into place the cloning process.
And it depended on which set of canon you follow, then the Mandalorians came from some other damn place elsewhere,
Exactly.
and they showed up on the planet Cordovia, and they.
Is that the kingdom from Princess Diaries?
It's probably the
It
same.
might be in a galaxy far, far
Yeah,
away.
it's probably the same universe, I imagine. But anyway, they attacked the planet, and then the local indigenous population assumed the identity of the Mandalorians. So The point is there are
Okay.
warrior class people. They've been shattered as a culture, and so they're mercenaries about the universe.
They never take off their helmets.
So we
which-
can't
I think
tell
that's
if
kind
they
of
all.
a new thing, but fair enough.
Also, I don't know if you've seen the pictures from the original Star Wars set. The guy who played Boba Fett, it's a good thing he didn't take off his helmet because he did not look intimidating at all after that. He's a schlubby dude with glasses and a pedo mustache.
Word.
Yeah, it's sort of a late addition actually that they're humanoid, but nonetheless, yeah.
Oh yeah, because they could have been anything. But it's fascinating that you bring up that point of them not necessarily being the same species or race, because I just assumed they were because they were warrior class. But you can't teach everybody the same. You could teach them the same techniques, but they won't necessarily be the same, have the same level of efficiency. And that we know that Boba Fett or Jango Fett were of brown hue, and then we have Pascal.
Pedro Pascal.
That
who-
was playing him under the
Yes.
helmet, and he's also a person of color.
Yeah.
So that was just made me assume that they all came from the same.
Well, and you see with the clones and from the Clone Wars and,
Yes.
and the animated series.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're all clones of
Boba-
Jango Fett.
Jango
Jango
Fett.
Fett.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is pretty cool. But I also think, just from a cinematic standpoint,
Yeah.
that the accent that it brings
The-
is actually
yeah.
pretty damn cool.
It's fantastic. Now, would you classify Boba Fett as a Mandalorian if he was just a clone following in his father's footsteps?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
He still
Because
is
of
what
the
he
creed
is.
he follows, or
Strictly speaking, except for a matter of efficiency, we're all clones of our parents.
God damn my
All right,
brain.
if we're gonna,
All right,
I can't
so
argue with
mind blown.
that. And plus,
Anyway,
he is what he is. He's a Mandalorian. Like,
Yeah, and
even
he
if
was-
you don't want to accept that, that's where you come from. That's where you get your skill set from.
and that's how he was raised, and
Yeah.
yeah.
So this series has been in the works for a while. John Favreau knew for a bit that he was going to be doing a Star Wars show when Disney came out with their own streaming service. Now, having John Favreau, the same guy who directed the first Iron Man movie, kicking off
who played Happy Hogan?
Happy Hogan,
Happy-
who
still
before that he also
plays.
played Foggy Nelson in the Daredevil movie with
Ben Affleck.
Ben
That's
true.
Once again, the director's cut of that Ben Affleck Daredevil is better than the original release. Just FYI.
Still, I love that I live in a world where Daredevil movie was made. Don't care how the quality of it. Okay.
Fair enough.
And I enjoyed that movie back in the day, but I didn't realize how off it was until I saw the Netflix and I realized, oh, this is how it should be.
Exactly.
You always got to take a step one to get to a better step two.
Now, The Mandalorian, though. So everyone thought it was going to be a Boba Fett movie because naturally he's the Mandalorian that everybody's seen since Empire Strikes Back. And so they thought it was going to be a Boba Fett movie, like an origin story. Han Solo, we already had one, a little bit like Rogue One, sort of a historic background. This one took a different turn. And dude, I love it so damn much. I can't believe it.
I didn't know what to expect out of the beginning, but in the first 5 minutes, it set the stage for what kind of Western this was going to be.
Western, exactly
It
right.
is a space
Yes.
Western.
Yes.
And just even from he's in a seedy bar. Mm-hmm. Here comes some guys looking for trouble. The bartender's like, listen, I'm just trying to keep the peace. It's my little neck of the woods where everyone knows your name. And instead,
Where everybody knows your name.
I just want to make some money and go home.
he shoots a dude in the face and cuts another guy in half via a closing door.
Yep. And slow closing. I thought the door was going to
No.
It kind of took its time.
It's like that scene in the first Scream movie where her friend is in the,
Oh,
the
they're trying
garage
to go
door.
through the doggy door.
and
It's right.
slowly.
Oh
Yes.
man, I tell you what, I was absolutely skeptical because and that's why I wanted to see it right away. But man, a Western Mandalorian. Now I'm still looking for Gina Carano.
Who ain't?
Yeah, I mean honestly,
That's why I started watching. I'm like,
but I mean we're 2 episodes in by the time we're recording here, and I haven't seen her.
2 episodes into something else. Beer.
No, but I think this lone man,
Lone Wolf and Cub.
we're gonna get there, I guess. Yeah, but I mean, the fact that he doesn't take his mask off, it frustrates me enough that I want to watch the next episode to see him take his mask off.
Yeah, well, what if it gets knocked off?
I love it. I love it.
Now, big question. Is it going to be his face just underneath there with his hair? Or is he going to have that derpy-looking cornholio head covering where it's just like...
It might not
Or
be
like,
any.
like Gambit with the headband.
Oh, fuck you. Fuck you.
We might not even get that. We might just get his helmet come off and we just never see his face. And we just see the background.
He just kinda
Silhouette,
stops.
be like silhouette.
Or he
yeah.
puts it on the ground and we just see the whole scene being.
You remember
done.
remember the scenes at the end of the Austin Powers movies where they're like trying to hide all her boobs with melons and things like
Yeah.
that and walk around. What if it's something
Oh,
like that?
yeah.
Knocked his helmet off, right? And there just happens to be some bantha in a way there, or something like a rock.
And it's a whole scene of him doing badass shit. We never see his face, and then he gets his helmet or the
Baby Yoda?
flips the helmet back.
Oh! We had to bring up Baby Yoda.
What's at the moment? The Baby Yoda like kisses him on the cheek.
Oh my god! Now, for those of you who are going to come in and argue in the comments, or those of you who always comment, all of you,
please argue in the comments.
Please.
We need comments. Period.
We know that it is not Baby Yoda. We know Yoda has died at this point. It is after Episode 6. Well, not died, but ascended to Force Ghost.
Yes.
Could have been reincarnated.
But we know that this is not Yoda.
We don't know what the tridactyls do.
Exactly.
Are they called tridactyls?
Well, it depends. So George Lucas has never identified the species.
Yes.
We've seen 3 of them so far.
Yes.
We've seen Yoda. We've seen the dude in the Jedi Council.
Yaddle.
And then
I thought it was a chick with the.
That's
with
her name,
hair.
Yaddle.
Yeah, and so then we've seen the little baby that we've seen in Mandalorian, right? Nobody's ever named their species except for like fans and stuff like that. And tridactyl is just 3 fingers.
Yeah, it's like
tridactyl.
Some uncanny shit that I've seen online too, on Black Twitter. It was like, actually,
like the dark web.
No. You don't know about Black Twitter?
I don't know about.
Oh my god, you missing out. Black Twitter is the best. So basically, it was a Black Twitter thread when it's like Baby Yoda, and somebody was like, actually, the name of Yoda species, and somebody was like, motherfucker, that's non-canon. Keep that bullshit to yourself. Lucas ain't said that's the name, so that ain't the name of it.
Yeah.
So,
nice.
With that being said,
that's amazing.
I was just like, I didn't know what time, place it took. I was like, is this Baby Yoda till after the fact? Then I did my research, and I found out personally it takes place 5 years after The Last Jedi. Just because I'm not the biggest Star Wars person, like I watch it because I'm a geek.
No, you're like 5'5".
Yes, no. I'm 5'4" and Tim's 5'3" on a normal day. That's just how it is. Like George Costanza, sometimes I gotta spray paint them some bitches black for special occasions. But like knowing that shit took place, now I was like, all right, now I know this is a brand new quote unquote Baby Yoda. So let me get into this. Let's see where this happens. And I'm just speculating that somehow this is gonna come into play and future installments of the universe.
Now, before we get to what that reveal was, let's talk about the episode itself. That moment where he met up with small Ron Perlman, the IG-11, voiced by Taika Waititi. Apparently, even Nick Nolte was in his first episode.
Wait, that dude was Ron Perlman?
No.
I was like, if he did some CGI magic and
they didn't even need to use CGI.
But now, as soon as he said, I knew exactly what he was talking about.
It's not a robot.
What are we talking about?
The little dude that was trying to teach him how to ride that.
Oh, yeah.
That dude. That's totally is small Ron Perlman.
Yeah.
Yo.
He looked like small Ron Perlman.
He did. Like, your people used to know how to master these things. Get on that thing.
Sons of Anakin, Ari.
I've done worse, so you're
Cat
fine.
was awesome.
Oh, man. I like the fact that, one, he doesn't have a jetpack.
Yeah.
He doesn't.
Two, because he's not as outfitted as Boba Fett was. And even Boba Fett, with all of his toys and shit, and his fuck, he ended up in a Sarlacc pit and almost got himself killed.
Well, okay, so they're all mercenaries, right? This isn't a uniform that they wear. This is pieces they put together, purchased along the way to
like
do their
that.
jobs
Yes.
eventually.
Beskar metal.
Well,
Yes.
okay, so we can talk about Beskar metal. Yeah, so it's Beskar metal is a mineral that's mined on the moon of Cordovia, and so if you're interested, the Mandalorians there, whenever they're prisoners or outcasts, they get sent to the mines.
Okay.
Is that the same mines that Chewbacca was in when Han did the spice mines in under 12 parsecs?
Spice mines, not Beskar.
You could have spice, you could have Beskar.
Yeah.
You throw a bone in there, baby, you got a stew going. Remember Carl Weathers was in this one.
You already know about
Carl
that.
Weathers. I tell you, when that dude was on the screen there, I'm like, Rocky IV, Rocky!
He's going to go fight Space Ivan Drogo.
You got to.
I kept seeing him in the Star Spangled shorts there. Like,
Living in America. Hey! Brought James Brown out from the dive. But that's one thing I did like about watching The Mandalorian. It felt like you're watching like a cutscene from a video game. Because you see him make the bounty, you get his money, he spends this on the metal, you take it to the blacksmith, they melt it down, he puts it on, and you can see the progression in his uniform. Like, I can't say I never, but that's the first time I paid attention. Like, oh, we just don't cut to something later and he got a whole new suit. Like, no, you see him working and earning.
Well, so the Beskar metal, that's kind of an important element, right? Literally. So the steel is canonically, or at least extended universe-wise anyway, it's extraordinarily tough. You can liken it to adamantium for us Marvel fans in the room. But it will actually take a reasonably direct or glancing blow from a lightsaber, but it won't take a stab.
Okay, so like...
Right.
You know what could destroy it, right?
What's that?
Matter Eater Lad.
Or magnetism.
That's it.
But yeah, so the Beskar metal, it's traditionally Mandalorian. It's absolutely a cultural element, and that's why the client that we know so far,
Werner Herzog.
well, yeah, so paid the Mandalorian at least in part in Beskar steel.
Oh, okay.
Now, I do have a question about the client. We don't know his name yet, but he is played by Werner Herzog, and I like the fact that he is very blatantly a space Nazi. He's like,
Oh my God! Or he could just be Imperial.
Wait, which one was he?
he's the one who put the bounty out. He's there with the stormtroopers. The stormtroopers
okay,
are
okay.
super.
But
Dirty ass stormtroopers.
Take a look at those stormtroopers. That's right. They're
They
like,
been through some shit. You gonna wash your cheeks?
well, there's some people that were like, the Death Star did what? And like that, and we can't go home. All my luggage was on the Death Star.
My daughter was on like this.
All my clothes.
And so they're in the same uniform. You can kind of tell that they're holding on to the Imperial tradition, but they
Like
don't
the
have,
Nazis after the war.
Sure, and they don't. Why not the white uniforms? Let's just say that.
The Empire is just space Nazis. Everyone can agree on that.
But at the same time,
You're talking about the goddamn space Nazi. But these okay, look. So they're stormtroopers. They don't have the resources. They don't have the supply guild that was on the 87th floor of the Death Star.
They're like the
anymore.
little giants.
yeah.
No.
But in their defense, the Death Star has already. Well, they tried to reconstruct it twice, so they might just be like, "I'm gonna keep this on because I think they're gonna do it again." Just to fast forward to these other movies, and guess what they're doing?
But I really dug the fact that they're trying to hold on to whatever they had before, and part of that is being in uniform. Part of that is being part of an organization. Now they can't clean the uniform or repair the uniform anymore, so it's sandblasted and dirty, and it just gives you the impression that they belong to something bigger originally, but they're failing.
Or they're getting ready for like a Civil War reenactment of the fall of the Death Star. Like, I'm gonna keep this on. Yeah, like, here we go again. Remember that one time?
They got all the wives out there cooking
He
hot
shot that
dogs.
shit the size of the swamp rat,
The best thing is they don't even have to use fake guns because they're stormtroopers.
and they can't hit
They're just gonna
shit.
miss
They're
anyway.
gonna miss anyway. So, but okay, I like that he was kind of a space Nazi, and I know what the fuck.
All right, space Nazi, maybe go ahead.
Because he's
do your
like,
thing.
we need a baby for experiments.
No soup for you.
So that was actually just the scientist that was off in the corner.
And he's like, no, I need it alive.
The client's all like, so anyway, bring it back alive. But if you don't, there's still a reward.
You'll take
That's
a
cool.
dead baby.
Yeah.
Bring back
Well, they
whatever you
didn't
need.
say-
He's 50 years old.
They say warm or cold, I think it was the terminology.
But the point is, they didn't say baby. They didn't say what it was. They gave the distinct impression that it was some other, thug that was out there in
Yeah,
the.
it's person.
There's a 50-year-old person you need to go bring back either warm or cold. Please.
Sure. Yeah, I don't think they would have said please. That's just what it did the damn thing. But it's like one of those things about that moment, like John mentioned. It's like he told him, like, I could take you in cold or I could take you in warm. The choice is yours. Either way, you're gonna get on this ship. Have at it.
And then he took him into the cold.
Exactly.
Like, he didn't kill him, but he took him into the cold afterwards. And then that one guy.
The driver of that skiff, by the way, is on Big Bang Theory.
Yeah,
a
he's
geologist.
done a lot of other things,
Word.
too. Let's not hold that against him.
But I like that. But I like that shot of it too, because that's one thing I like about Star Wars cinematography. Is like the long shot, so you just see the vastness of just that place, that little igloo in the middle of all that shit, and this little ship, and just how it pans out. And then even just getting there is a task because then they got some type of monster underneath the ice trying to eat them at the same time.
And every so often, Star Wars does this in all the movies. They back away and they let you just remind you that you are in this tiny enclave on the planet.
Yes.
That you're on this tiny spinning mud ball in the middle of this universe. And you're like, wow, we are desolate. Okay, there's a lot of space in between. But anyway,
one of the things I really enjoyed, and it's the little thing, the Bosks. Bosks don't look like they're just, lizard masks anymore.
Yeah.
They look fantastic.
Everything in it is
Everything
incredible.
was
Which
beautifully
one, the
done.
boss?
The lizard people.
The dinosaur looking
Yeah.
people?
The guy that looks
Word.
like the guy that's fighting Kirk.
Oh yeah,
Kirk on-
exactly. Okay.
But they go from getting the, not the puck, but just the Beskin metal, and he goes to the Mandalorian entryway.
Yeah, the forge or
The
whatever
forge.
it is. Yeah.
And one of the cool things there it did it in a way where I don't need to hear someone explain why their parents are gone, but as it's being forged, it's reminding him of who he is, what he's lost. And he was a kid who had no parents, who had to make it on his own, and he goes and he's made himself into this Mandalorian, which, like, you know, he's bought into the creed.
So it tells you a couple things, 3 things. One is that being a Mandalorian or a mercenary or a warrior class is not something you're born into. So he was an orphan. God knows what his parents were, but bam, he's still a Mandalorian. But number 2 thing is that the Beskar metal, as well as the Mandalorian, is part of a greater culture. And so when he submits the Beskar medal, which is his reward, he could keep it all himself, and to be forged, you'll hear the blacksmith there say that this medal will go on to many other foundlings. So they make his little, you know, his shoulder pad there, whatever it is, but there's extra that's going to go, and it's extremely valuable, and it's going to go to other folks. And then the third thing is, I kind of get the feeling we're going to get the pacing for this series based on how his armor.
Yes, the upgrade. Yeah.
Also, the fact that he's getting a whole crate of this stuff, so that's going to make him a Mandalorian legend.
And it's almost kind of very similar to like Wakanda in the sense like you could be Wakandan, but you don't have to be a Black Panther. And it's like the Wakandans are all warrior class, but they don't all come from the same tribe.
Right.
So it's like we could teach you the techniques and our ways of life, but you don't have to be necessarily from the Golden City of Wakanda. And we do have this metal, vibranium, and that. So I like the similarities between that.
I also like with the little guy whose name I can't remember, the Paul. Let's call him Paul. He's there, and he's like, I have spoken. I'm going to help you.
Oh yeah, so he gets to the planet. He's following the the
last
location
lead,
Bob
yeah,
or whatever it's called.
There's no Puck.
No, yeah, there is.
No, he didn't give him Puck. There was no Puck for the baby. All he gave him was last known coordinates. Exactly.
Right. Yeah. So he gets there, and then just like a Western. You see the dude coming on over the horizon there. He's coming into the old town, and no matter where he goes, to the bar or the corral or to some farmhouse or something, there's always some old dude, usually Charlton Heston, that is gonna, for some reason help him out. Yeah. Either because he used to be a warrior or because he's just tired of all these goddamn people showing up in his area.
Which is a great concept, and I love it when the gunman comes into any of these towns and he has no reason to help, but it is, like, hey, you know what? I gotta go there anyway. Let's do this.
Like, he sums everything up like, you could do that in less bullets, right? Sometimes it ain't about how much you shoot, but where you shoot it.
And he's really good at what he does. That's been established. But the fact that he can't ride one of these things is wonderful.
And that's where you make comedy without trying to be funny. It's just
but
situational.
The little guy even points out, he's like, you're Mandalorian. You guys used to ride crazy things. You can't ride this.
Giant mammoth that's a symbol for the Mandalorian. Tusk. Yeah, and so it's sort of the classic scene in like City Slickers and everything where somebody tries to get on a horse and it bucks them. Oh, and they fall down. Oh, it's funny, they're all dirty and they try to get it, but eventually they get it. It only takes like 90 seconds in the series, but he gets bucked off a couple times, gets pissed off a little bit, then he gets on the giant walking lizard.
And as cliche as it is, I always love that because I've fallen off a horse and I thought I was going to get Christopher Reeve.
That's why I would never get on a horse or near a horse.
Too soon.
Too soon?
Too soon.
Well,
Christopher Reeve and John Wick 3 definitely made me terrified.
I thought bad stuff was gonna happen. But as cheesy as it is, I love that fucking saying. It's not how many times you fall off; it's how many times you get back on again. Mm-hmm. And he gets back on again, and he keeps going at it, even though he's getting beaten time and again by elements that he's not necessarily used to. Because when he's in his element, he is John Wick. Yes. He is so good.
All right. So you said John Wick again.
Of course.
I think for the third time. All right. So John Wick, when you go into the Den of Thieves and there's another mercenary there. All right. This is the classic assassin droid. We saw it in Empire Strikes Back. We didn't know what the hell it was.
General Grievous?
No. IG-88. This is an IG-11.
And so, but it's the same.
I don't know. You just said numbers.
R2-D2?
Is that the new iPhone?
Was it the R2-D2?
Is that the new iPhone? Yeah. And as a matter of fact,
when he runs into Alexa and she helps him, rescue the baby.
Word. Alexa was the robot that used to command the Millennium Falcon.
That's right.
Donald Glover might have been fucking.
He was fucking it.
Yeah. Lando gets around.
No, I'm sorry. Let's
fucking it.
No, he's getting fucked by it. Let's be honest.
Oh yeah.
Does he tell it to fucking?
He doesn't have
Because
to.
I'm
But it's
pretty
just
sure
nose.
it's sentient. Anyway, and there are ways. It said so.
I love the immediate interaction with them because he shows up and IG-88 just shoots him.
And just boom. It's like in his programming. And just the whole scene is incredible. There's a couple of things.
Such good shots from him.
The action is amazing because he's an android. He can spin around 360 or whatever it is.
And it requires rewatchability.
Android Cooper. 360.
And so he's like just shooting everybody and everywhere. But what's funny is that you can see that he's based on programming because the instant something goes wrong, I will initiate self-destruct.
Basically me when I'm trying to make a good impression anywhere and I stumble over my words.
I will initiate self-destruct. No, please, God damn it, would you knock it off?
And wasn't there like one point where he's like up top?
Yep.
I'm like, wait, what? Oh, there's somebody about to get shot. Oh, yeah. I was like, yo, he called it.
It was incredible.
Their team up was amazing. I kind of wish IG-11 didn't get busted.
I thought it was going to turn into a buddy cop
Me
show.
too, because like Taika Waititi, Korg from Thor Ragnarok.
Just kind of like Han Solo and Chewbacca got to teach each other about
Or like
humanity,
the
about
one
honor,
dude
whatever.
from Rogue One and KS2O, something like that.
And, but no, we roll it up. We find out who the quarry is, and it's Baby Yoda.
I damn near shit myself.
I kind of started to cry. I hugged my wife a little bit closer, rubbed, petted my child there on his head, and it was amazing. I was really, it's kind of a moment, and then all of a sudden IG-11 says, "Right, we have to kill it."
And
What?
What a beautiful shot of the shot.
Of the shot?
Of just the Mandalorian not even looking, but you just see a blaster go off.
And IG-11 is no more.
And when he puts his hand out and it goes to credits, and then it goes to the watercolor picture.
Yes.
Oh,
And I was so mad because that scene was spoiled by Facebook. Like, Baby Yoda, like, wait, what the fuck? A Baby Yoda? That what threw me off about the franchise.
I didn't see it.
I
until
wish I
after.
didn't, because that would have broke me internally as a human. Like,
I'm still going to counseling over it. It's amazing.
No, I didn't see anything on Facebook.
Yeah.
So when that happened, I was like, no.
But we've got to talk about the half second afterwards, all this artwork that happens.
Yes.
Wonderful.
This is kind of incredible. This is like a CinemaScope, a sketchbook.
Yeah.
Worthy
It reminds me of like older stuff back in the day. Instead of giving us like the watercolor opening, they save it for the end credits, and it reminds me of like
Those old westerns.
or no, not for me, but was it Spider-Man 2 or 3
Oh
when
my God. Yeah,
Alice
yeah,
Ross
yeah.
did the intro?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what it reminded me of. Like cool, and it also gave me like an anime vibe to it too. Like we gonna start off like this, but in the outro we gonna hit you with all this shit.
I'll tell you for sure.
Other Japanese words that I don't understand.
I'll tell you what it really did from just an audience, a watcher perspective. It actually changed my memory of a lot of the scenes.
Yeah.
It took that artwork and replaced it a little bit, and it contributed to the entire the moments.
Like
that
we didn't need the
happened along
DVD
way.
to get that bonus feature of the concept art. We just gonna put it on the ass end.
I do got to ask a question about episode 2 though. So
Well, that's where we're going right now.
same location. It picks up right where the first episode left off. He's taking the little baby.
I like that it's following him. Like it's got a little tracker.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it is levitating. Like Baby Yoda isn't levitating. It's just naturally
no,
levitating. So I was trying to figure that shit out too.
Yeah, you'll see the control. It's like a remote control on his arm.
Okay.
It stays, a certain distance away from him, but he can also control it, like move it to the left. and
Yeah,
right.
which was great.
Yeah. So that is all awesome. But one of the first things he does, besides whipping the shit out of a couple people attacking,
Couple bosses.
but he shoots Jawas.
Oh, that's what the name of those people are? Jawas?
Oh, yeah, they're
Okay.
Jawas, for those of you who don't know, are some of the worst creatures in the goddamn universe.
Then why did they have to be black though?
They're not black. They're
They're
cloaked.
colorless for crying out loud.
They're cloaked.
But they're-
All you see is
they're
their eyes.
black.
They're racial neutral.
I know what black looks like.
If
No,
you're-
I'm just saying that they're like black. People are saying they're just black.
Oh, okay.
Anyway,
So
yeah.
think like
That's a joke.
in Spirited Away. Think like in
I
Spirited
didn't
Away.
watch that.
What?
Yeah, there's some things I haven't seen.
I haven't seen it either, Daniel.
You guys,
So-
we're just gonna stop here and watch Spirited Away, and I'll cry a little bit.
All right.
Jawas are. It's like the guy says. They don't destroy things. They scavenge. They will take what they want. They're honey badgers of the universe. They take what they want.
Daniel, sure. Where the hell are they located?
Anywhere.
Tatooine.
This is not Tatooine. Is
Wait,
this
this-
Tatooine?
This is me holding my arms up like nobody
it?
said it wasn't Tatooine.
That's true too. So until you're proven wrong, you're right.
I'm not going to say that Jawas are indigenous to Tatooine.
Jawas don't have space travel.
We don't know that.
Unless some of them or get stolen or
Jacked enough
relocated.
parts to build their own spaceship and go
build their own battle fucking fortress and track that bitch around the planet.
Yeah.
Well, if they reformat a space cruiser into a big ass.
Also, have you seen how thrown together that thing is? All they need is 4 walls and some tractor, like some track wheels.
I mean, okay, sure. It's still sandy.
It's a
still
dump
desert.
truck. It is a dump truck.
It's the planet.
So was the turtle van, and that shit got around too.
It might be Tatooine. It might not be
know.
Tatooine.
It doesn't matter.
But
actually.
as much as everyone shits on the Jawas, and I understand why,
because they're tiny and brown.
they're black.
Brown road.
I'm just saying. I notice things.
I love them for how you never see a Jawa stray from its nature. You never see a Jawa who's like, you know what, guys? Maybe what we're doing is morally reprehensible.
Well, yeah,
Because we can't understand them. They don't give us no subtitles.
Yeah, you
They
just
did get subtitles.
Like, Houdini!
Oh, yeah, they did. My fault. I was drunk watching that shit.
Was funny.
Hell yeah.
I thought it was amazing when, like, because they get that one track mind of the egg.
Yeah. And then they all love it.
One of the things, I was watching it with Andy, and he shoots the blaster to climb up there. And I've seen enough Tom and Jerry in my life to know, they just need a pair of scissors.
Do you see Tom and Jerry Kids, though?
Yeah.
Okay. That was
Kind of
the
knocked
jam.
that guy right up.
Hell yeah.
I love how, so this is kind of jumping at the end, I suppose. But yeah, you're talking about they get all focused on the egg. And right when he's bringing the egg, so everybody, spoiler, he gets the egg. Anyway, he gets the egg and brings it on back. And I learned over my family, like, they're just going to, like, make an omelet or some shit like that.
They're garbage people.
And they take this knife and he looks at him like, no fucking takes one jump, boom, chops the corner of that egg off like that, and they all just start jumping in that Cadbury egg.
It was reminiscent of when I was a kid and I see animated food. I was like, I want to taste that fucking Jawa egg. I want to know what that tastes like.
That shit look nasty.
Not the Jawa egg, the egg that they were eating. I wanted some of that gack. I wanted some of that Nickelodeon goo. I wanted that Nickelodeon goo in my mouth. I wanted to know if it tastes like yolk.
The green shit on the
No, I'm talking about in the egg. In the egg.
You said
Jawas are obviously look like children, Daniel.
They don't look like
But
children.
children make the best meat. That's why, like...
Oh, Snowpiercer.
Marbleized and...
filet mignon, veal, all that good shit.
So before he actually gets the egg, he has to go back to, young Ron Perlman's house and tell him that his ship has been scrapped.
Yeah.
And he's like, they destroyed it. They ruined my livelihood.
I tell you, it bothers me so much how easy a ship is scrapped, and it's still space-worthy later on.
Exactly.
But yeah. Yeah, so it's been scrapped by a Jawas, yeah.
I like the fact that young Ron Perlman is his go-to guy to negotiate with the Jawas because he's done this before. He lives there. He's like, no, come on. No, you're going to have to talk to them. Come on.
At some point in time.
And it's great because when they start negotiating, what do they want?
Well, I mean, they want everything. They want his weapons or whatever else is on there. And then... So initially, they start sniffing around his carrier, and so when
they come up, he has to remove his weapons. But as he said in that episode, weapons are his religion.
Yeah,
He's
and
Mandalorian.
And you can imagine that culturally, that's not an uncommon thing across thousands of different cultures. Weapons represent
Christianity,
the cross.
Sure. But they represent effectiveness, they represent virility, and that kind of thing. So you can see that makes some sense. But he still yields them no problem. But when they're sitting down for the genuine negotiation, the first thing that the Jawas look at and say, they want the Beskar steel.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just a non-starter. I mean... the Mandalorian, because he doesn't have a name, for crying out loud. This is incredible. He doesn't have a name, can't see his face, we still love him. All right, so the Mandalorian is ready to barbecue every Jawa there.
Because he's already vaporized a few.
Yeah.
And actually, they already look like they kind of barbecued already.
But what was cool...
By dark. God?
What was cool is when they all met,
Is there God in Star Wars?
His name's George
Lucas. When they all
Old
met,
Testament.
though, the past transgressions were forgiven, or at least ignored. Yeah, so they meet together. The first thing, all the transgressions are forgotten, and so they kind of, settle down into this negotiating table. And you can imagine, I mean, let's open our history books here right quick. So whenever you had traders meet with Native Americans.
I know you're not calling the Jawas Native Americans.
And they didn't speak the same language, but somehow they still communicated and they're able to trade and share stories.
How many
and
blankets
information.
did they trade? Curious.
They don't look like they use blankets.
All I'm trying to be is a white man in America trying to record a podcast, but I gotta be drugged into all this bullshit. All right, so, but anyway, so what's great is they're both professional on both sides, more or less. No to the Beskar Steel. No, you can't have my weapons. All right.
You can't have my baby.
Quick huddle. Quick huddle. What do we want? I don't know. The house. The egg. That's what we want. Yeah, and so.
Well, and I do like when they go to the little baby Yoda, and he's like, "Get away from there!" But the baby's just like, "What's up, friends?"
And the one thing too, I really like the most about the Mandalorian is the fact that he's not like this undefeatable, perfect warrior. He's not like Samurai Jack is. He's not like John Wick or your average typical action hero when he just defeats everybody with ease. No, he's fucking up. He's getting beat. He's losing. He almost died several times. First off, when he was fighting the whatever creature that was in the first episode, and then in the second one, like you said, he was on some Tom and Jerry shit. He's getting very jerried in this situation, and he almost dies a lot, but he doesn't. He some way he survives, and he takes what he's learned to improve himself and to be a better bounty hunter. But it's not just, it's not a cakewalk for him.
Not at all.
Yes.
He doesn't have the gadgets, and he has to keep learning. He was a foundling, and that he still has to work his way up. He still has to become like higher in the ranks of the Mandalorians. It's a whole thing. I mean, maybe not higher in the ranks, but maybe more acknowledged as one of them, because he didn't have any. They even said, "Has your signet appeared?" No. He's still working his way up. He's still getting his armor. He is not at the same status as the rest of them. Right. But he goes, they decide they want the egg, Yatucha or whatever it is. And they get on that one track mind, go get us that egg.
That's right. And what's amazing is it's him walking alone. You can say, walking alone into the sunset. In this case, into the valley with the big damn cave and the big rhinoceros thing inside there. But with him,
I thought it was going to be a Sarlacc.
I was hoping.
What's the Sarlacc?
The same thing that ate Boba Fett.
Oh, the big ass space worm?
Yeah.
No. That's the pit that Luke Skywalker jumped around.
Sarlacc pit is basically a space worm, but also just embedded in there.
It's a big pit.
Yeah, but I'm saying that's what it worms.
No. That was just a
big ass space worm. Okay,
that's some.
That's something else. That's some Beetlejuice shit.
Yeah.
Close but different, like Luke and Anakin.
Ah, okay.
I guess so.
Yeah.
But yeah, so
I'm mad at that.
So he goes to this cave, but still with him is the little baby Yoda. They're still floating there, and he goes, "Yeah, beep 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 beep." There on his arm there, and he like scoots him off to the side there and says, "Now I'm rolling in." And what I thought was cool about the show is that you didn't. There wasn't a shit ton going on in the cave. It was like he'd walk in there, he's trying to figure stuff out, and all of a sudden the eye over, whoop, like.
I like that it cut to outside. You just see the blaster going off, and then him being.
And like Kelsey was saying, in every instance, he's getting his ass kicked.
Yes.
Bottom line, not even like he's putting up a good fight. He's just getting pounded.
Blaster's back with the Jawas. Yes. He's got his grappling hook. 8 backfires on him. He's got a flamethrower. Good fucking luck, friendo.
Don't do shit.
And so he's the rhinoceros goes back and forth a few times, all over the place, and finally he's just like, I got nothing else, and he pulls his knife.
That was beautiful to me because if you look, he's shaking.
He's exhausted. Every bit of it. You're just like living inside his helmet there, and you're exhausted. He's exhausted. You know that he pulled his knife just to say that he pulled his knife when he dies.
Exactly.
And the guy and the rhinoceros starts to charge. It's thump 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 thump
and
coming at you.
The MVP.
And then
this shit.
It actually doesn't do anything. It doesn't hit him.
When the music hits, and he looks up. And what's in front of him but a floating space rhinoceros. And the music starts to swell, and you are just as in
That's
shock
not the only
as he
thing that
is.
started to swell. My eyes.
Okay.
With tears.
It was your eyes.
With tears.
It was
That's what I thought you were going to say.
Tears.
But so the rhinoceros is floating in the air. So it's not moving forward. It's not moving backwards. It's not. It is absolutely shocked. And then we cut back to Baby Yoda.
And I'm sitting there like, no, Baby Yoda. You do not have the strength, the chakra, or the telekinetic powers to do this. You're going to kill yourself. You're going to die. Please put that shit down. You are not prepared for this feat.
Kelsey went into mama mode.
I did. I was sitting there like, I was like, Lord, child, bless him. Your heart's in the right place. But you do not have the strength, but somebody help him right now. Please don't kill this little adorable old ass creature in this episode. I would not be able to function with that.
So to cut through that drama,
Yes.
the Baby Yoda is using presumably the Force, like that.
The Baby Yoda is using midichlorians.
Of course.
Or, because that's my question too, are they just able to tap into the Force, or is that their species form of telekinesis?
Who can say?
So
Exactly.
there's no backstory
Yes,
on the Tridactyls. So but the point is, you do know that Yoda is extremely strong in the Force. You can presume that chick on the Jedi Council is probably also strong in the Force. And so you can assume that this baby is also strong in the Force, which answers the greater question, why the hell is there a bounty on the baby?
Because they want to experiment on it. These space Nazis, let's go back to it. And the reason I call it space Nazis, one, they're part of the Empire. Stormtroopers. It's a German dude, and they want to experiment on this thing Mangala style.
Yeah, all coincidence.
Or a sinister style.
They executed an order that was basically the genocide of the Jedi Order. Are you kidding me with this?
Jedi starts with a J, and so does
Juicy Jams.
That's
exactly.
right, Juicy
They want to kill. That's why no one no music in space. There's no R&B.
That's how
There's a
come
cantina
there's no music
shit.
on MTV.
Oh shit! Video did kill the Jewish star.
Damn,
the
I was
Star of
really
David.
not. I was not sure.
Wait, hold on. Let me try that again.
All right.
Video did kill the Star of David. Wait, no, try one more time.
Okay.
Video did kill the radio star of David.
Okay.
None of those
Keeping
were
all
good.
three of these.
You got a lot of editing out of here.
Holy crap!
That's the hat trick.
Holy crap!
But
yeah. So
they-
the Force.
They want him. Now, we don't know if it's a clone. We don't know if it is a rebirth, Phoenix style, like of these kinds of creatures, or just of Yoda himself.
And we don't know if they produce asexually either.
No, we don't.
So you might not need a
right.
mama and daddy.
They
You just
could
need
be-
one.
All right, now I have a really important question that I want you guys to just really fucking think about. It's very important to me. Is this Yoda kid gonna grow up with the same speech impediment, or is it like when you adopt a baby from overseas and then they learn to speak like they're from Brooklyn instead of from wherever you adopted them from?
You're gonna learn to speak like Angelina Jolie.
Yeah, and they're like,
They learn.
came to the wrong fucking neighborhood.
You did.
Speaking in tongues, and by speaking in tongues, that means they kiss their brothers. So that's gonna be real.
Like the original.
Because Angelina Jolie kissed her brother.
You know who else kissed her brother?
A war show.
Is it Luke?
Leia and Luke. Back to Star Wars.
Luke didn't kiss his brother though. Don't try to throw some shit in this. This is not right.
Sibling on sibling smooching.
All right.
There's a whole
Is there incest in space?
in space.
if they
No
can't
one
hear-
can hear
If they can't
incest.
hear you scream,
Yeah,
there's no incest, right?
Yeah.
Nope.
There's
nope,
insertion.
Nope. All right. So he's got the baby. The baby uses the Force. Everyone watching with a heartbeat connected to two eyes went, "Ah!"
It was kind of fucking amazing.
Exactly.
It's what it
And
really
then
was.
next thing
And
you know, he drops the rhinoceros and he just goes.
Can we give the baby a name? Just us.
baby
No,
Yoda.
us. No, us.
Oh, we want to name it?
is it? I don't know. Is it Cletus?
Cletus sounds
right.
great.
I don't
Cletus is
like
good.
that.
Baby
at
Cletus.
all.
Little
I do
baby C.
not- No, I do not like
Big
that.
C. Big
No.
C.
No, the big C is cancer.
No.
The big C is cancer.
And little C is something we can't talk about.
Can we
because
name
you
him
guys fucked
Paquito
that up before.
Verdo?
So-
Can we name him Paquito Verde?
Paquito Verde sounds great. Little green.
Little green.
Verdete?
Verdete?
Verde.
Verdito?
Verdito.
Verdito!
Verdito! Hey!
Verdito. But you gotta roll that R.
Yes,
bitch. I-
Verdito.
Yes. Yes. And then I was like, oh, the little guy's just tuckered out. He just need a siesta. I was like,
So
oh.
he uses the Force. They go back, they get the egg, and I even told Andy, I was like, that's either an egg or a furry turd. Because what egg have you seen that has dreads?
Yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't have any doubt it was an egg when they were like prying it out of the cave or wherever it was. But yeah, it certainly does look pretty weird. But
So they take the egg back. Like we said before, they cut it open because they're garbage people.
they're just like literally it's all this effort and it nearly dies. And they're just like crack it open like that and make an omelet right
and
there.
then we're hit with one of the best montages we've seen in the first two episodes of fixing the ship and fixing the armor. I was ready for it takes two brothers with a love for each other, making the armor and fixing
Then
the
they all
ship.
sweaty. Then they.
And then
Somebody's got to have they have a tank top, sunset in the background.
Drink.
That's right.
Pan out like. Job
It was
well
great
done.
because this is going to take forever. And then the guy goes, well, maybe faster if you'd like to help.
Yeah, wait, you were just gonna do it? And I mean, it goes to the same thing. Right before he leaves, he's like, "I can't take any money from you. You're my guest. I'm not a rude son of a bitch like the Mandalorians.
But I thought he was going to offer him to be on his crew.
He did offer him to be on the crew.
I thought we are going to have a buddy cop movie going on.
And they keep throwing us that curveball.
Yeah, in this case, it was going to be like a Lethal Weapon. Like the little guy was going to be Danny Glover, like too old for this shit.
Yeah.
Right, and then the other guy, the Mandalorian's going to be Mel Gibson because we'll start with an M.
But he says, I lived a lifetime to get out of servitude. Thanks, no thanks. Yes. They take off. He's checking. He's kind of shaking the crib, which don't
still
shake
asleep.
a baby.
Yeah, because
we see
is still asleep.
Verdito gets up and goes,
like, yo. And this nigga eats a frog too. We forgot about that shit. And I like the fact
hilarious.
I like the fact that he's still dressed like an old ass man. Yes, he's technically 50, but that's very young in Yoda species.
It's like if you had a kid and you just gave him like high waisted jeans.
Verdito is just like Friar Tuck and shit.
Like a fucking worn down Cubbies hat.
Like what was it, half pint or a short stack?
Short round.
That
was hilarious. He's wandering around chasing the frog. Oh my god, everyone's heart's just like boom, 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 pumping peanut butter. Love the little kid, right? And then he eats the goddamn frog. And I'd often actually thought a little bit like, what is this thing eating? Because I'm sure the Mandalorian's not like nursing the kid or anything like that.
Smushing up berries and spitting it in his mouth or some shit.
I'm excited to see what comes next. One of the parallels I wanted to draw, and I know Kelsey was talking about it too.
Oh.
At the end of Old Man Logan.
Yeah.
You get Wolverine, and he's killed off the Hulk clan. And there's one little baby Hulk left, little Brucey.
And he's green.
Otro Verdito!
Yes.
Now, a little bit different.
Yes.
I mean, Verdito isn't the product of an incestual relationship.
We
don't
know that.
I guess we don't
In
know
space, no one hears incest.
Gamma make them jamma.
Yeah. And that
Equally yoked.
I see what you did there.
That's right.
Eggs and shit. But the thing too, like, does he poop? Because we don't know if he's wearing a diaper and he ate that frog. Does that mass just turn to the force?
Maybe he's not wearing a diaper. Maybe he just, wherever he walks, he just... It's like when I'm wearing a nightgown.
Just poops.
That's why I never come over to your crib at night.
Poops out of little like dry, crispy pyramids.
Or like owls. It's just like all the bones and shit.
Yeah.
Nice little
Right.
Pyramids,
it absorbs everything.
pyramids or like
because
owl poop.
Owls are aliens.
Yes.
Of course, because they've seen their head turn around.
Have you seen The Fourth Kind?
I was about to bring that up. Yes, I have, and I don't think about it a lot because I like sleeping at night.
But we've got, Logan and the baby Hulk. We've also got Lone Wolf and Cub. The difference being, it's his actual son that time. And he gives him the choice between a ball or a sword. And he's like, if he goes for the ball, I got to kill the kid. If he goes for the sword, I'm going to raise him. And he goes for the sword. And he's like, all right, come on, get on my back. You're going to be a Ronin one day.
But we don't have so much like the Verditos in... I don't know, on the same side or working with him. He did stop the Rhino, and that makes sense. But we don't know where they're going to go from there. Do they go back to the client and get the chest full of...
There's no way he's actually handing that baby over.
Hell no.
I think he'll go back for the crate, but there's no way. There's no way. And I'm saying it. I'm getting concerned now as I'm talking. But there's no way. There's no way he's handing that baby over to the Nazis.
What's going to intercept him? Got to be some kind of Rebel Alliance stuff.
We don't know.
Right?
What about this? How about this? Hear me out. Right? He gets
listening.
there. He hands over the baby
to the client.
He doesn't tell him. He's still got it programmed to his fucking thing.
It just falls
He gets it, and then he hits all right, make sure that thing can bust through walls. And it just comes, and he hops on it.
Kool-Aid's man's and shit.
Oh yeah.
He hops on it like it's a little speeder.
He rides like a speeder bike.
Or you just see little baby Yoda like.
Yeah, and it's great. Baby Yoda's out there at the back, but not with a gun, just forcing people away. And not Boba Fett is moving things left and right.
Yo, that's crazy because Disney doesn't do anything. I didn't think Disney knew Baby Yoda, Verdito was gonna pop like this because there's no action figures, there's no Funko Pops, there's no toys yet.
No fluffy anything,
Give us next week. Biggest selling toy of Christmas season.
No, here's what you do.
No kids are going to buy it. It's all going to be adults.
What you do if you're smart, if they were smart, what they do is they give us the Mandalorian pop, and on its back, or in a little papoose, you have Verdito.
I need Verdito solo by himself. In and out the pod.
But without solo.
Yes.
That's confusing.
I'm excited to see where this series goes. But
I absolutely think there's going to have to be some kind of Rebel Alliance interference. He's going to have to go to some other person to drop this Yoda
Let's
thing
talk about the dead baby in the room.
Okay.
Either this kid dies at the end of the series,
Nope.
or
Nope.
comes back in a bigger way in this next episode.
Adoy.
This next episode, episode 9.
No.
Yeah.
No, I'm gonna disagree with that. I'm gonna let
you're-
you finish. I'm gonna let you finish your statement.
Okay. All right then.
Okay,
Yeah.
Kanye.
He just made you Taylor Swift.
I am not Taylor Swift. I don't write any songs about my ex-girlfriends.
I seen you shake it off.
I do that.
You ain't wrote no good songs about your ex girls because you're not a good songwriter. That's
Think
okay.
about
You said I had potential, and then you made me
I'm
do
a
all those
friend.
things.
I'm a friend,
That's
Look,
doesn't.
look,
that's
hey,
not-
and I want you to get better, but you have to start somewhere.
put it in the past. You just gotta grow.
I'm gonna
And
flip-
we
I'm gonna
are
flip
never,
this
ever,
fucking
ever.
table. Bonus episode, Patreon style.
No, but so I think in the future we're gonna keep on this old Western theme, of course, and I think he's gonna realize that Verdito is much too powerful to hand over to the Empire. And he's gonna try to find somebody else to take care of it. It's gonna take
My
like
money is
7
on the
episodes.
kid dying at the end,
No,
making him even more war torn, even more depressed, and into the true Mandalorian that he will become.
I think he gets captured along the way,
think
and then
he
I think
does.
he gets rescued and dropped off with the rebels or on Dagobah or some.
We don't know where they're gonna go with it. There's a whole future. We are only on episode 2, which is crazy
I am
for
excited.
what has happened. I say we come back in the next 2 episodes and do another bonus episode to talk about what we've learned. And how we've grown.
word. And it's just me being.
Don't try that again.
Go ahead,
Yeah,
spit it out.
3,
and just
2,
Alright.
1.
And just me guessing about what could happen potentially in the future. I don't think Disney at this moment will do anything just for the sake of doing it. I definitely think this is the plant of a tree that we're going to reap the fruit from in the future. And just me personally, I think, not in episode 9, I think Verdito will pop up in the next trilogy, hopefully with a time skip, because this character is too good just to, not waste, but just to have it limited to the Mandalorian series. Just like now that Kevin Feige is getting more hands in with Star Wars, and we know how he likes to do Marvel, everything is a step towards the future. And I definitely see this character coming in to play in the future. And I would say, if anything, with me, I think he somehow found his way to Luke Skywalker. And he might be in the same place where Kylo Ren was when Kylo snapped. And it also explain how Luke maybe have got more in touch with the afterlife. Because I don't remember anybody teaching Luke how to project his Force ghost. So far we know, he's still out there in some world, and he does age slower than everybody else. But that's just me. That's just my thoughts.
What was your
about
epiphany, Daniel?
that. Yes.
What if we're looking at this all wrong? You
Well,
guys said
okay.
it. You guys said
You
it.
might be.
You guys said it at the very beginning. They're not a race. The Mandalorians.
Yeah, I was
Okay.
talking about Verdito.
What if?
No, Verdito's not going to be a goddamn Mandalorian.
What if he is?
No.
What if the Mandalorian that we're following?
He's going to be a
Oh,
Mandalorito.
wait, that's the flip.
Do what?
Because like you said, they did inhabit that planet from somebody else.
Nah.
Metacorian? Mandalorian?
It's been 2 minutes, lady. It's gonna be a hit, but you won't let us do our thing.
Oh, shit.
No, fuck you.
Why'd you stop?
All right, listeners, we've come to the end of the show now. And,
God.
we are going to go ahead and wrap this one up because we could keep speculating and talking about the Verdito Chronicles. Chronicles de Verdito. Guys, I say we do this again in 2 weeks. Look forward to seeing you. TJ, where can the people find you? Anything you'd like to plug this week?
See, about the only places they can find me is at Escape Velocity on Wednesdays. That's about it.
Not here on the podcast. Interesting.
No,
Interesting.
actually. No, you can absolutely reach me at any one of the podcast's platforms and social media platforms. But other than that, I do a pretty good job of keeping my social media profile pretty small.
Kels, how is God moving in your life, and what do you want to talk about?
Oh, she's moving very well in my life.
Nice.
She always blesses her coolest son. I just want to say that real
Do you
quick.
get like the runoff, or
What do you mean by the runoff?
she said she blesses her coolest son? So what do
Yeah.
you get, like the leftover? Or?
No, I'm the coolest son.
I don't think so.
All right, that's your thought, but she
pretty
tells me
unlikely.
Yeah, she tells me differently, so it's all fine. She got to talk to all her kids in the way they understand to make sure they still are here. Same
Is-
way Professor X had to talk to Cyclops, like, "Hey,
Does she
laser
talk-
beam guy, do this.
beam
You're
guy.
the leader."
Does she talk to you
Lead.
in the same way that Will Smith had to talk to the post office Biz Marquee in Men in Black 2?
No, not beatbox.
Okay.
But no, you can find me on Facebook, Kelsey DeAndre Greer. You can find me on Instagram and Snapchat under Kels for Show, KELS_4SHO. You know, now you do, and no one's half the battle. Yo, Joe. And also, you can also find me working at Escape Velocity. I'm an employee now, so if you ever need comic books, want to talk manga or something, come see your boy. Buy something, just don't be loitering around. You gotta, do something with your life.
I'm in trouble.
Yeah, I was gonna say, don't come by on Wednesdays then, because then
Yeah.
new guy always comes in and ruins it for everyone,
Yeah, they told me that too. Like, this might be an issue for you, but just don't have your friends just in here lollygagging around.
Yeah, I never do that.
Word.
I also never eat up at the front counter.
No, he doesn't. They told me not to do that, and then you definitely didn't have a whole burrito.
Listen, new guy, wait till you're knee deep in it. So you can find me on Facebook, Daniel Rojas, Instagram, Blue Morpho, one word, all the O's are zeros. Make sure you check us out on Facebook and Instagram, Escaping Podcast. If you or anyone else you know would like to send us music to have used on the show, please do so at escaping.podcast@gmail.com. As always, we record at Escape Velocity Comics, and in no way, shape, or form do our ideas, opinions, or beliefs reflect that of Escape Velocity or its staff. Folks, it's been great talking at you tonight. We aren't leaving you with any music because this is the bonus episode. You heard enough of us. You're ready to be done. You're probably tucked in and listening to my voice as the last thing you go to bed. God damn it, I love you. Remember, folks, there can only be one chum bucket.
And just remember, too, if you ever get trapped in carbonite, be an escapee. Break free. Listen on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. Any day. They hear your boy Daniel, TJ, and Crazy K, John on the art, and ever since the start of this episode, Verdito has been the way that we need to go. He may be small like a Cheeto, but y'all ain't ready though, so make sure you get Disney Plus and wrap it on up, and that's exactly what I'm about to do. Thank you.